You should never buy a new construction home in Chicago. At least not until you understand a few things that most buyers don't. Because after helping dozens of people buy new and even working directly for a builder, I've seen buyers walk into the new construction homes thinking they're getting the easiest home purchase possible. But what they don't realize is that buying new construction can actually be one of the most complicated purchases you can actually make. And if you don't understand how the process works, you can end up making some very expensive mistakes. So in this video, I'm going to break down why you should never buy a new construction home in Chicago unless you know these things first. First, let's talk about why new homes are so appealing. Because honestly, it kind of makes sense. You walk into a model home and everything looks incredible. Modern kitchens, perfect lighting, everything is staged to perfection. You get to tour multiple models, choose your floor plan, even pick your home site that you want to build on. And compared to some resale homes, it can feel like a completely different level of living here. But the model home isn't actually the problem. The problem is it can feel like bait and switch sometimes, because some of these builders are showing you homes with $300,000 in upgrades. Lot premiums, every upgrade imaginable. I was just helping a client who fell in love with one particular model. 2-story living room, perfect layout. The wife absolutely loved it, which is exactly what the builder's hoping for, right? Base price, just over $600,000. Model home price, $900,000. And that's the moment where buyers suddenly feel like the rug just got pulled out from underneath them. What originally attracted you now starts to turn you off. But honestly, that's not even the worst part. The part people really start to worry about is what they see all over TikTok and social media, and that's poor builder quality. But there's something about the way new homes are built that most buyers never really get to see. And that is something I actually understand pretty well. Because working for a builder, I got to see all the behind the scenes action. Most people don't. And that information is paramount in understanding what's really going on. From timetables, construction process, and everything in between. A new construction home isn't built by one person crafting every detail like a watchmaker. It's built by a dozen subcontractors, framers, electricians, plumbers, drywall crews, painters, all coming in at different stages. And that pace is incredibly fast. I watched an entire home get framed in 3 days. First floor, second floor, and they craned in the trusses. It is honestly insane to watch if you get to see it in person. So with that many trades involved and that many moving parts, things do get missed. And that's why walkthroughs, village inspections, and punch lists are part of the process. Now, something else that happens is national builders sometimes get a bad reputation for build quality. And I can understand why. When a builder is building thousands of homes across the country, naturally more stories are going to end up online. And then you have TikTok inspectors like Gold Star Inspections, Sci-Fi, Inspector Preston, all highlighting the issues. Now, I'm sure some of this happens all over the country, but I can only speak to what I've seen in Chicago. Now, by the way, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, this is what I do every single day. So feel free to give me a call here or sign up for my weekly newsletter right here. Now, we touched on this earlier, but let's dive into a little thing I call the premium traps. This is probably the biggest shock people experience. Like most people, you start researching online, Redfin, Google, the builder websites. You find a floor plan you love, maybe even a town you already love, before you even leave your house. You see the starting price, it's $450,000, and think, that's perfect. That's well within my budget. So you plan your weekend, you're gonna go tour some homes. But the reality is, you've already fallen into the trap. Many builders here charge lot premiums. You know that pond view you like? Maybe it's $40,000, $50,000, even $65,000. And that's before you even talk about any interior upgrades. The base price is always the most stripped down version of this home. Once you start adding flooring, cabinets, counters, lighting, bathroom upgrades, you can easily move that price $50,000 to $100,000 higher without even realizing it. And you know the crazy part? It still won't even look like the model home that they make you fall in love with. Now here's the important thing. New construction isn't bad. In fact, for many buyers, it's kind of an incredible option. You get modern layout, energy efficiency, way less maintenance, and sometimes builder incentives can make the numbers really, really attractive. But the people who have the best experience are the ones who understand the process before they even walk into a model home. So let's talk about another topic that gets millions and millions of views online. How did my mortgage go from $2,400 to $3,800 overnight? What happened? And a lot of times that comes down to escrow and property taxes. You see, with new construction homes, the taxes are used in early payment estimates and they're often based on the land value before the home was built. But once the home is finished and the county reassesses the property, the taxes are then on the full value of the home and the land together. In Illinois, that full reassessment doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes it takes 2 or even 3 years. So everything might look fine at first, then suddenly the property is fully assessed, and now the escrow portion of the payment hugely increases. Now in this area, full assessment can be 2.5% to 3% of the purchase price. Now the tricky part is the builder and the lender can only estimate that number. The county won't give you an exact figure. It's almost like some secret formula, like the Willy Wonka chocolate. I swear to God. But taxes aren't the only misconception buyers have with new construction. Another big one is the inspections. Most people think it's a brand new house. I don't need an inspection. But new homes are still built by people, and people make mistakes. Before real estate, I worked installing cable in new homes, and I saw some of the craziest things. Missing caulking was really common, trim issues. One time they literally carpeted over a return duct, and they never ran it into the wall. And I wasn't even looking for issues. I was just trying to get paid to do my job. Imagine what a professional home inspector is going to find. Now this is why many buyers should always do their pre-drywall inspections and their final inspections with an inspector. Now this isn't about distrusting the builder, it's just about protecting yourself. Now I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible because I have great relationships with builder reps. I love you all. When you go into a community, there's usually someone there in the sales office to help you. And a lot of buyers assume that person is their agent, but they actually represent the builder. Their job is to sell you homes in that community. Think car dealership. Same idea. Builders also run promotions, limited lot releases, or interest rate incentives that can create a little bit of FOMO for you. And that's part of the sales strategy. Don't forget that. But having an agent in your corner who can help you slow down and look at the numbers objectively and ask the important questions that really can make a difference, like what upgrades are really included, and what do the full taxes really look like in a dollar amount? What will the final payment actually be? And one thing many people don't realize is that in most communities, you have to bring your agent with you the first time you visit that home. Because if you walk in on your own, you usually can't add an agent later for guidance. Now, before we hop into our last point, if you're finding yourself having questions about the Chicago market, give me a call or sign up for my weekly emails here, where I keep you updated on the market, local shops, places to check out, and so much more. All right, so after everything we talked about, here's the reality. There are a lot of great new construction homes in the Chicago suburbs, but here's why maybe you shouldn't buy one. If you're overly worried about construction quality, because building a home does involve dozens of trades and a lot of moving parts. If you're not going to hire a home inspector and you're just going to take face value from the builder, maybe you might not go that route. You're not fully prepared for taxes here, which usually is like 2.25% to 3% of the home value. If you expect the model home that you walked into day one to look exactly like the home you're going to be building, I don't think so. Now, if you're walking into model homes without someone representing you and helping you navigate the process, might be tough for you as well. But if you go in understanding these things, new construction actually can be a great way to buy a home nowadays. And if you want to know about the pros and cons of new construction besides these, then watch these next 2 videos, and I'll see you there.